So I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And that is actually the topic of discussion today. Uh, During this time of the year, the question naturally arises, well, what is Christmas really? What does it mean? What does it represent? And what are its ancient origins? So let's talk about that. Because most people, of course, have this view of Christmas, the Christmas tree, the presents, Santa. And if you're Christian, and you celebrate Christmas, well, of course, it's the birth of the baby Jesus. But really, it is a more spiritually significant event. Not that the way Christmas is viewed by religious people isn't spiritually significant, because it is, but I'm talking about a more personal significance, a more mystical significance. The ancient mystics, the Christian mystics, they did not celebrate Christmas in any way whatsoever as we do today, of course. It is an inner event that happens. It is a pattern that occurs within every person, within every human being, especially if you seek to work towards the activation of this pattern. So when I speak of Christmas, I'm not speaking about some historical event, not the birth of a literal child called Jesus. Um, I'm talking about the birth of God in man. And so let's discuss more about that in a moment. But first, let's go to this date, right? December 25th. Why do we celebrate it on that day? Well, of course, it has to do with the sun, right? The ancient mystics, they watched the sun's journey. And they saw that after June, the sun began to move south and nature dies. There's this event of death. And by December, there's this cold, this darkness, and everything seems to have died. The end of the world is here. But then around December 25th, and it is, of course, it's a bit earlier, but the sun stops seemingly descending and begins to turn north. And there is this promise that life will return. Nature begins to resurrect. And so to the ancients, to the sages, the sun, S-U-N, was the savior from death, the savior from cold and starvation. And Christmas was the return of the light, the journey, the beginning of the journey of the return of the light, the return of life. And so it wasn't some astronomy, as we know today, where we look at the stars per se, but it signified more a language of the soul, right? Not a language of science. So just like we can look at the sun and how it affects our life, this was the meaning of Christmas as well. It was the mystical, spiritual birth in our own dead world. And our world is, to a large degree, compared to certain spiritual states, appears to be quite dead. You really begin to analyze it. But it can be birthed anew. It can be given life anew. And this is what happens with the mystical meaning of Christmas. This is the event that occurs within your own mind, within your own soul. So these ancients, they encoded these inner truths using these cosmic movements and cosmic events, telling this story of the soul. And so it's a very, very, again, very mystical, very psychological teaching. It's not necessarily about history or certain scientific facts of planetary movement of the sun, right? The outer sky merely mirrors our inner consciousness, and that's what's important. And the problem is people focus on these outside events, right, where the finger, they focus on the finger rather than where the finger is pointing. And so if you learn anything from this video, I hope it is that you begin to turn within rather than look for Christmas on the outside, which of course you can still do. I'm not telling you not to put presents underneath the Christmas tree. Please, by all means, of course, right? But the true significance lies inside. The Son is the Savior, right? And simultaneously the Son, S-U-N, as the Son, S-O-N, right? As Christ, as Jesus. But so what is Jesus, right? It's not this infant. It's not this baby. It's not this person. It is the Savior. It is the light of the world. And in John 8, it tells us, I am the light of the world. I am is consciousness. It's your own experience of being. It is beingness. It is that which contains everything. Consciousness radiates these images that we experience, these sensations onto the screen of space. And so life is merely reflecting what you're conscious of being. And that consciousness, that is Christ, that is the Son, that is the Savior, that is the light. And of course, key to this myth is Christ being born from Mary, from a virgin. And this too is talking about your own mind. Your own mind is virgin. Your own consciousness, your own I amness is virgin forever. It cannot be tainted. You can say I am strong, you can say I am weak. But the I am as an element in those never changes. It's never tainted. It is never so corrupted that it cannot be saved, because it is the Savior itself, right? It is the light itself. The light itself does not care about shadow, right? These are merely a byproduct of it. But shadow can never, cancel out the light or harm the light in any way. So inside us are buried these hopes, these ambitions, these states, and these are these like seeds frozen in the winter soil. But when the sun turns north, these seeds begin to awaken, and you get spring. And all these wonderful plants begin to flourish. And so you have all these desires inside your own mind, all these seeds you have planted before. And Christmas is the time to awaken them, to begin to shine the light so these seeds can gain their sustenance and actually begin to grow. So it is pointing to remembering who you are. And through that awareness, through knowing who you are, these miracles will begin to emerge in your own experience. And you don't need anyone at the aid of anyone else. You don't need the help of anyone else, because that's what the Virgin does, right? The Virgin conceives without the aid of another. There's no external help required. All you have to do is define yourself inwardly. Let the weak man say, I am strong. Who are you claiming yourself to be? Right? Claim, I am the light of the world. Stop hoping, or stop begging, right? Stop asking Santa for gifts. Start being instead. Assume this state of already being or having or doing, and feel it truly at the core of your very being as an identity. That's what true prayer is, right? It's not asking, it's not begging. It is firmly and confidently and wholeheartedly being. So I will leave you with a final quote from Colossians. I tell you a mystery hidden for ages and generations, now made manifest. Christ in you, the hope of glory. Thank you, and again, Merry Christmas.